Hi everyone. In this lecture, we're going to study about communication skills. Here, we're basically going to deal with the meaning and the process of communication. We all perceive communication to be an easy and natural process. Well, that's true also. We communicate all the time. We talk to people, we write emails and messages, and we chat with people on various social networking platforms. We convey our emotions through various gestures and facial expressions. And most of the times, people understand us. But things become a bit complicated the moment we enter a workplace. The way you communicate becomes very important because there are people all around you who judge you on the basis of how you communicate. Whatever you say and write comes under a scanner. Therefore, in order to become a successful communicator, we need to carefully plan what and how we are going to communicate. So before we go deep into the strategies of communication, let's try and understand the meaning of communication. Communication may simply be defined as an act of transferring information from one place or person to another. The word communication has been derived from the Latin word communicate, which means to share or to make common. Communication involves understanding what someone means and in turn making someone else understand what you mean. The person sending the information is called the sender and the one receiving the recipient or receiver. The process looks very simple. However, it is affected by various factors that make it complicated. These factors are called the barriers, and they may modify or dilute a message. Communication is considered effective if it produces the desired results. The process of communication is successful only when the receiver understands the meaning in the same form as it was conceived by the sender, because it is the message that travels and not the meaning. The meaning depends upon how the receiver decodes a particular message according to the understanding level and his life experiences. Effectiveness of communication can also be measured in terms of similarity in understanding between the sender and the receiver. Communication should take place in such a way that the mental picture envisioned by the sender is the same as that perceived by the receiver. Now let's try and understand the need for effective communication in business situations. For better decision making, effective communication is very much important. Better communication means better information flow and therefore decision making becomes easier. Better decision making helps in solving problems faster. Better communication helps to build a better company image, recognize and remove bottlenecks, and improve productivity amongst employees and ensure high level of employee satisfaction. And then for better information availability. Information flowing smoothly across the organizations is critical, and so is the availability of information at the right time and place. The information flow becomes smooth with effective communication. Better information availability also results in strong feedback mechanism. And then for better interpersonal relationships. It is extremely important to maintain good understanding and relationships with the employees as well as the customers. Good communication translates into better relationships and is vital and a prerequisite to becoming a good leader. Research with business professionals reveals that effective communication ranks high among the skills necessary to succeed in business. Let us take a look at such few examples which reveal similar findings about the importance of communication skills for business. According to a research carried out about language proficiency and its relationship with recruitment, it was found that Asian countries consider English language proficiency as one of the major criteria for the recruitment purposes. Similarly, in a study by Robert Hall International conducted amongst 1,000 employers in the United States, it was revealed that 96% of the executives voiced the need of effective communication skills to career enhancement. The Wall Street Journal also published similar findings, which said that leadership and communication skills are most in demand and necessary to stand out from the competition. Now let's take a look at the communication process. It's the basic model of communication process. The communication process consists of 5 basic steps, and these steps are ideation, encoding, transmission, decoding, and response. Let's take a look at all these components one by one. The first component or the first step of communication is ideation. The process of communication begins with ideation, which refers to the formation of the idea or selection of a message to be communicated. It consists of what of communication and is concerned with the content of the specific message to be communicated. Scope of ideation is generally determined by the sender's knowledge, experience, and abilities, as well as the purpose and context of communication. The next step in the process of communication is encoding. Encoding is the process of changing the information into some form of logical and coded message. Encoding process is based on the purpose of communication and the relation between the sender and the receiver. In a formal business situation, encoding involves selecting a language, selecting the medium of communication, and selecting an appropriate communication form. And then comes transmission. Transmission refers to the flow of message over the chosen channel. Transmission confirms the medium selected during the process of encoding and keeps the communication channel free from interference or noise so that message reaches the receiver without any disturbance. And then comes decoding. Decoding is the process of converting a message into thoughts by translating the received stimuli into an interpreted meaning to understand the message communicated. It is important to note that it is the message that is transferred, as the meaning cannot be transferred from one person to another. The receiver has to assign the meaning to a message in order to understand it. The process of decoding involves interpretation and analysis of a message. And then response is the last stage in the communication process. It is the action or reaction of the receiver to the message. It helps the sender know that the message was received and understood as well. The feedback that goes to the sender makes it clear whether the receiver has accepted the information and filed it in his or her memory or rejected it. He or she may ask for more information or clarification. Response is the key to communication, as the effectiveness of communication depends on how congruent the receiver's response is with the meaning intended by the sender.